Okay, cool. All right. What are the different things that you do? So you mentioned animation, um, uh, what cartoon, comics, or what kind of stuff do you do?
Yeah, I do. Let's see. I have. I made two video games. One sec. I
Oh,
made two video games. I have two books. I have writings as I'm doing like a self realization journal right now, kind of like a journey on enlightenment,
mm,
spirituality, and wisdom like that. So I do that kind of writing. And then I have like art and comics and stuff like that. So I don't really have a focus. There's no real focus of any particular thing.
mm.
I'm just saying like, well, I don't know what I just these are things I like to do.
Okay. So do you see a problem with that? Like, would you just be happy just doing what you're doing? Like,
Oh
where does
yeah,
the issue come in? Do you know what I mean?
no yeah, I'm if I find something like a lot of people like, I would totally focus it. I would probably like focus in on that, but I haven't found anything
Mm,
anyone's interested in. So right now I'm focused on writing because I feel like that's the easiest thing I can do,
yeah.
and I like doing it the most. And I don't have to like with my podcast. Sometimes I have to get guests, or it takes a while to edit. That's fun to do,
Mm,
but it seems just easier to write. So I've been doing that recently.
okay.
Maybe I can focus on it. I don't know.
But I think what I'm getting at is like, are you concerned whether there's even a market for what you do, or do you just enjoy doing it?
Oh, do I have concerns that there's a market?
Like, are you is that something that concerns you? Like, are you thinking, oh, okay, I really need to find something that people are going to enjoy, or that's going to make I'm going to be able to monetize, or is it just a case that you're just happy making the content? If it makes money, it makes money. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, you're just content with
That's a good question. That's a good question because like sometimes I see maybe what I can do to find a market,
it. Mm,
and then but more often than not, I'm like, no, actually, that feels like that would be too much to do. Like I it feels like I would be, I don't know, being like less than optimal for what for going into the flow state, so to speak. I'm like, it would be easier, your latter statement, where I just I'm happy making the content, and if it gives money, it gives money. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
okay.
I feel like that's where I usually but sometimes I do have those thoughts like maybe I need to maybe there is something like I need to find a market for something,
Mm,
but I not often not often I like look at information and seek that out because I don't know where I would begin with that.
okay. So what I'm getting at is like, what is the real driving force? Is it just like, you know, like I say, like you just enjoy it, or is there
Yeah,
some other drive that would lead you to maybe like a commercial way to make work, or to do your work? Is there something else, or it's just maybe a passing kind of worry, but you're not too bothered about by it.
a pet. Stay say that one more time.
Okay, so
Just went over me.
what I'm trying to get at is like, what is the main drive behind your work? Is it purely creative, or is there, because obviously you put up the post, so there must be something in you
Yeah,
where you're like, I really want to, or not really, but I kind of want to monetize this, and I kind of want to have a
yeah,
career like this. Um,
yeah.
so is that more like, what's more important to you?
Oh yeah, okay. I definitely feel like monetizing it is something that is becoming more of a draw. It feels like that's been the underlying like assumption this entire time,
Mm,
and I haven't. I just haven't been able to find a way to get there. Yeah.
Right. So okay, so there is a need there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel do you feel previously maybe you tried to bypass that need, or
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of the sense I'm getting. I don't want to.
No, yeah, definitely. Like, cause I've had moments where I'm like, oh man, why is this like really down moments, like frustrating that no one, uh, I didn't get enough involvement.
mm,
And at the same time, I didn't actually put myself like as much out there as I could, like as much maybe advertising or something. There
right.
might be like some sort of negative belief with that.
Okay.
But at the same time, I know I could easily be like, oh, okay, well, that's a negative. I'm already aware of the negative belief. I just have to hold on to the idea that it's okay to put this stuff out here more often. Maybe.
Do you like really believe in your work in terms of not just doing it, but people will gain value from it?
Yeah, it's sometimes I have trouble with that because sometimes it seems like this, like there's so many spiritual. Uh, First of all, it feels like I'm not being original, completely original. It feels like I'm just kind of like copying off of all the books I've read and all the wisdom that's already out there, that's already popular.
mm,
That makes me think, all right, maybe I don't need, maybe I need to like chop wood and help people in that way because it seems like uh it's maybe it's not helping people, and that maybe that's why there's no one coming to the website.
um, okay, so my opinion on that would be like there's no new information. Like all the information, like as humans, we just build off each other's, what each other has done in the past. Like there's no, it's very rare. Like yeah, you'll get moments of inspiration, but it's very rare that you'll get some brand new information. So what you find with most spiritual teachers is that they teach it to a different kind of crowd of people, right?
Yeah,
So for
yeah,
example,
that's I always
Eckhart
forget
Tolle,
it.
yeah. So like Eckhart Tolle, for example, he's able to speak to the Western
Way more
audience,
people.
yeah,
Yeah,
Western audience, rather than his teachings are basically the same as Ramana Maharshi or someone
sure.
there, but it's not digestible to a Western market. So that's usually what it is. It's like these teachings have been the same since the Tao Te Ching, for however many thousands of years ago. But it's just how you can communicate that and how many people you can reach with those teachings. And some people are
Yeah,
able
that's a
to
good point.
communicate it very well, and others can pick up on specific markets. So, for example, Leo can talk to, I guess, our kind of demographic,
Yeah,
our age group. I'm assuming we're around the same age. And whereas, like, maybe other people wouldn't want to listen to Eckhart Tolle. So that's a factor as well. It's not just about
yes,
finding new information.
yes, that's a. I can totally buy into that idea.
Mm,
Sometimes it doesn't always seem like that, but I can totally focus on that idea because it does feel like there's something in me, and I don't know what it is yet, and that's what I've been doing for the past like 8 years or something.
mm,
I was like trying to find out a way to what integration point is it in the spirituality? Maybe it's in life. It's maybe it takes part of politics and part of science, a very small part of science.
mm,
If to be honest, that's not my strong point, but a lot of mysticism and all the way out there to channeling and the paranormal.
mm.
I'm like, is there something here that I can kind of like a through line to people?
Yeah, and
So that's a good point what you just said.
thanks. And yeah, I think you can almost take business principles into like what you're trying to do, and it might not seem that. It might seem the antithesis of it, but really, it's what I'm talking about. Is like if you look at who are you trying to reach, like who is your market? And I don't know if that's something that you thought about before. Maybe you just thought,
No,
oh, it's just people. Um, but like, yeah, that's
yeah,
important because who is going to listen to you? You know what I mean? Like who is going to reap benefit from what you say? And that's really important to identify. Like who is that market? Are you reaching, you know, younger people? Are you reaching older people? Like, are you reaching more creative people? Like all this type of
Yeah.
thing. If you can niche down your
Not
market,
really.
that I think then you can cater and you can you can look at that market and think, okay, what do they need? What are they
Right.
missing? You
And
know?
that would make my creative process a little easier because it'd be like, oh, I know who I'm talking to now. Right.
Exactly. Exactly. So then when you make YouTube videos, it could be stuff like, say, I don't know, say you're talking to older people, it could be, okay, how do you grow older gracefully, for example, you know? And
Yeah.
obviously that would get more views because it's more directed at them.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the kind of sense I'm getting from you is like you've got a great creative spirit, and you
Yeah.
want to put something in the world, but it just feels slightly unfocused in terms of who you're helping and what
Yeah,
problem
man.
you're solving.
I'm wondering, is that something I have to do myself? Just figure out like who do I really want to talk to? Like, because it still seems really general. Like I want to talk, I want to reach everybody I can.
Yeah,
Um, and wouldn't matter how old they were. Honestly, what their political beliefs were, what their spiritual, like what their religion was,
mm,
and that's sort of what I've been adapting to. Like I've been like during my writing, I see like how can I cover all bases here? Like how can I do this 360 degrees?
right,
And
right.
I'm wondering, in your opinion, is that a bad idea? Like, should I find like some way to narrow it, like exclude this group here, and that's it, or whatever, and just like keep excluding some groups until I can narrow it down to like who I
I
really
think,
want to talk to.
right, yeah, no, good question. Right, so you're thinking of it possibly in a negative way, in terms of you're using the word exclusion, right?
Yeah,
You could say you could focus on a particular group rather than excluding all groups. Like naturally, when you start any business, you think, okay, I'm going to serve I want to serve everyone, obviously,
yeah,
because I want to reach your business is spiritual, so you want to you want to touch as many lives as you can, you know, touch as many souls as you can and improve their life in some way.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
if you think about it in a business way, that's never going to be a good business strategy because you people are just not a monolith. They're not just one thing. You know, like
right,
different types of people, different demographics have different problems. And if you look at how business is just done, that's usually what it is. They'll say, okay, like we want to sell a family car, so we're going to focus on all the problems that families have with cars. We're going to make it
yeah,
slightly bigger. We're going to, put TVs in the back for the kids. We're going to do all that kind of stuff. So because they can focus and really solve the problems, well, I mean, not the real problems, but at least the material problems of that.
yeah. For that thing, I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then they're able to sell more of that product because they're able to solve the problem. So by including everyone, it almost kind of excludes everyone, because you're not solving anyone's specific problem. You're attempting to solve everyone's problem, and also in doing that, you're watering down your own message because you're trying to
yeah,
touch all the bases. You're trying to include everything. You see?
yeah, yeah. No, I definitely see that. Um, so this, for me, I have no idea what I would like right now. I'm just looking into it,
Mm,
and I'm seeing that I have to just what do I just have to like sit down and kind of like work this out myself and be like, oh well, who do I really want to
yeah.
focus upon it? Um,
I mean, if
I
you had to
kind of
pick,
have a yeah.
what would you say? Like, what's the natural kind of audience for you? Would you say?
Here, what I've been what I really want to do. I don't want to reach. I don't want to reach people that. I mean, this is just a general idea. I don't know what the categories of audiences are,
Mm,
honestly, but I want to reach people that are, man. It seems like it would be hard to do though for me. Now that I think about it, but I want to reach people that are like, science. very logical and rational, or highly religious, like people that are not already into spirituality, like people that don't have any idea of the greater picture, right? I want to somehow reach those people. So, like, find a way to get them to look into it's sort of what Leo does a lot of times. Like, I think he had a video that was like, why you're afraid of the truth, or something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it, but when I listen to yeah, well, I mean, my perspective is like, maybe there's a way to do this. I don't know. Is there a way to do this where, like, I'm not berating the person, or like saying they're less than because they are, like, I'm here in spirituality and they're over here, but they could easily be over here. It's like, it's just like a slight shift here, but it always feels like it's I don't know. It's like they wouldn't believe it. They're already in the truth. So is that even an audience, or what? And that's the trouble, because, like, would that audience even come to me in the first place if what I'm handing to them is not what they want?
It's tricky. It's tricky. What would you say, just out of interest, what would you say drives you to want that audience to? Because essentially what you're saying is you want to convert people, not convert in a religious.
Yeah, no, I get what you say. Yeah, that's a good term. Like,
yeah, you want to
basically, yes.
why do you think that though? Why do you have a instant kind of drive? Or because that's the response you gave pretty much straight away. But what makes you want to convert people, for lack of
that's a lack of a better. That's such a strange word to use, but it's so true at the same time. There's like some sort of truth there. There's a, like, convert. How do I convert someone? Like, how do I brainwash someone to just like this? Because that's what we're sort of talking about. Yeah. And to talk in that way kind of scares me. It's like, what? I don't want to talk in that way.
Okay.
I don't.
Another way to say, actually, you could say open their minds, but I don't know if that's just a way to disguise it. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, isn't that just a way to disguise it? Yeah, that's. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just being more honest with our, like, higher self or whatever, or like our true self, to speak in that way, to say, like, no, we're not converting you. Like, this is not a conversion. I'm here to open your mind, like, honestly and truly. Like, that's the purpose of this thing. Yeah. It's not like maybe that's something to mention, like, that's as a launching point or something. I don't know. Sorry, I went on a tangent.
No, it's fine. No, it's just it's tricky with that, because it's like a religious person might say the same thing.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
They might say, exactly. I want to convert them, and I want to open their minds to, Jesus, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
So that becomes a little bit tricky, but I get what you're saying, because it's not assuming, you're not converting into an ideology. You're more saying, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're more saying, right, there is no ideology, right? That's
yeah. Wait, hold one moment. Some dialogue box came on. Oh man, can't remove it. So strange. Anyway, I'll just keep it on. Everything's sort of like transparent, but you just said, yeah, it's just like a Christian would want to convert someone into the one true religion. Like, for me, I have so much. I have a lot of conviction in a lot of things, but then I have an understanding that this is just my perspective, and
you have an awareness.
Yeah, there's like an awareness that the more I push someone, the less authentic maybe I'm being, because it's like saying I know more than you do, and which is totally, that's not the case. I don't want to start teaching people this.
I think with that, like if you do want to talk to those type of people who really strongly believe something, could be Muslims or atheists or whatever,
Yeah.
you have to talk to them on their level.
Ah,
So you
you're
can't say it from
wow.
a point of, oh, you need to come up here. Like you guys don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
you know. I'm not saying you would
Right,
do
right,
it,
yeah.
obviously, I'm just exaggerating it. But
Well, how
you have
yeah.
to find where their level is and communicate with them on that level. So that can actually take understanding, say, Christianity, if you're talking to them, like
Yeah.
really understanding it, and also understanding where the similarities are.
Yeah.
Because personally, I just believe that there's truth in every religion, and
Oh, sure, yeah.
actually, like Jesus's teachings, very similar to spiritual teachings. It's
For
not
sure,
just
yeah.
at all. So that might be the entry point that you can go in. For example, like just off the top of my head, you could have a whole series just about Jesus's teachings and the spiritual meaning of them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That for me, I don't seem to focus on. It's kind of hard for me to focus on like one topic at a
Mm,
time, like atheism or Christianity or whatever,
mm.
um, because it feels like uh, I'm leaving something out. But that doesn't have to be the case because I can add that into the topic, perhaps.
It might be an idea to, like, if you're making a video or something like that, just write certain points that you must include. And I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
You want to keep it free flowing and
yeah,
open. But the problem is that you, not just you, but anyone can just go off into tangents and talk about different things, and it can sometimes be hard for the person to
to
follow.
follow.
You see,
Yes,
so if the person
exactly.
is like, say they're Christian and you're talking about specifically, stuff that Jesus has said, and how that relates to life and spirituality and like what your take on the meanings are. That's something that can really be engaging because that can give them a whole new perspective on something that they've probably just taken for granted. You know?
One sec. Sorry, I got distracted by that dialogue box. You'll have to take it. You said to focus on one topic because it's hard for people to follow,
Yeah,
right?
right. So for example, like where's the you always have to think like why would someone watch this video over say another video,
Right. Yes.
consume this piece of content over another content? So really put yourself in the shoes of that person. That's how you can get onto their level, you see.
Right.
So what are
Yeah.
the concerns of say quite a devout Christian, maybe a young Christian person?
Yeah.
What would
Yeah.
interest them? What would actually open up their mind, and also
Right.
what would not alienate them from or what's the word I'm looking for? What would not turn them off? Like, because it's very easy to, you could just say the wrong thing,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, oh,
Exactly.
this guy is the devil. Like, don't listen to this guy.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
treading that line, how can you do that? And
Right.
these are all things to think about, and I think it's things that you haven't. I get the feeling that you haven't really thought about before, and it's
Not
also
really. No.
why I feel that you're not getting the traction that you want,
Yeah.
because you haven't necessarily put yourself in that person's shoes who's consuming the content.
Totally. Yeah. Like I always feel like for example, if I were to talk about Christianity, I always feel like, oh, I have to include atheists in here. But what I need to do is exactly what you say. It's like make some like a podcast or writing or something
Mm,
or videos. I don't know. Maybe I can start doing videos. That'd be easy enough.
mm,
Um, and make the topic for the people. This is for those particular people. So then I know how to shape it into their integration point, so to speak.
exactly.
And I can include it because everything is part of everyone's life anyway.
Mm,
So atheists are still included within the idea of Christianity, and so is Muslims, and so is spiritual people like me and you.
mm,
And so I can work my way I can actually work my way from a logical point of where they're starting at and work my way down or up or whatever to where they would be better off, so to speak.
Exactly, exactly.
That's a
Um,
good. That's a really valid point. Yeah, I
yeah,
haven't been doing that at all.
no, good. Like I said, it's exactly the same with any business. Like you're always looking for, you know, how to serve. Basically, it's just that your focus is not necessarily on the money. It's just when it comes, it comes. But that doesn't mean that you can't serve people in like the same way. In fact, you're more free to serve people, you know,
Yeah,
because you're not as concerned about the money. And you
yeah,
can actually do it authentically.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um,
It
no, sorry, go on.
well, no, I had a thought of doubt that just like entered me, and I know every time I express something like that, I know like, well, I could easily think it away, but I'll just get your idea anyway. It feels to me I don't want to. There's always something in me that's like I want this to be uh how I want to do it, right? So when I'm talking to you, I'm like, these are great ideas.
Mm,
This is how I can do it. Like I can do it like this. And then if something fails, I'll be like, like I might do something like that, something like this is the Jesus movement or whatever video.
mm,
And then I'll put that out there and maybe it'll get like 20 views or something. And I was like, that's not enough.
mm,
Maybe this is because I'm stepping out of like that I should be doing. I'll get that thought of doubt, like, oh, I should just be doing it my way. I have the same. I'll go back to the same routine because I'll be like, oh, well, I got the same amount of views anyway. So
mm.
how can I keep myself focused on the idea that like how much time do I have to? When can I gauge myself? When can I know that like this is succeeding and when this is failing, or I don't know if this is a good question or not.
No, no, it's a good question. I mean, there's two aspects. So we were kind of focusing on the content, but you
Yeah,
also have the marketing as well. So,
right.
so that those are two. Those are basically the two factors that are going to give you success or failure, um, in terms of YouTube videos. Anyway, it's like
Yeah.
the content and the marketing. So as you said before, I don't think you're doing much in the way of marketing either, right?
No, none at all.
So it's cool, but there's loads of areas where you can improve. You see,
For,
um,
for sure.
so I think in terms of what you're talking about is like, or how I'm understanding your question is like, how can I remain consistent, even though it might not work straight away?
Right.
How can I keep my belief in it? Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So what I would
Conviction.
say is conviction. What I would say is that if you look at what successful YouTubers do, and I don't mean TikTok stars and all the
PewDiePie.
all that. Although he's releasing quite deeper content recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna check about him.
I don't really watch him, but I'm just um, but yeah. So you have to have an understanding of just what works, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of YouTube, what works? It might not be that you do everything because you might have like principles and whatnot, but there'll be a certain formula that works, right? So having a good thumb,
Yeah. Okay. It's
um,
just about trying new stuff and like
yeah,
I shouldn't get doubt, like I should keep going this path
mm,
like of like a new trying new what I'm doing now is obviously not working.
right,
So long as I because I've been doing it for 8 years or whatever,
mm,
is just this kind of like free flowing, free form, just like whatever. I need more structure. And so you're giving me more structure.
yeah,
And so that removed the doubt completely. Like now, okay, I could if I put one video out, then I just have to try something else. And that like the thumbnail, like keep trying different things and seeing what
exactly.
gets more traction and not. Okay.
Exactly. So what you were talking about before in terms of just doing free flowing, like that's fine, you can do that. But in terms of
Yeah. It's
guaranteeing that
just
okay, that's going to be successful and not
yeah.
even money wise, like it's going to reach a certain amount of people, you can't guarantee it. It's just like you're just doing it to do it. know.
it's good, yeah, and it's good because like I can still do that stuff. I just can know that like it might not necessarily attract anyone
Right.
to like maybe I could do that stuff later on actually. Like now that I have a some sort of following, it's like, okay, well now I'm gonna get a little more esoteric with everybody or whatever like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You
Maybe
could.
that's a good idea too.
Yeah. You
Because
could.
maybe I've been starting up in like the clouds and no one can, so to speak, reach me or what. I don't know. I don't want to sound so lofty,
No, no.
but
It's true. You know, it's real. It's like you. It's your communication with people. You know, like it's how do you connect with people, and like
yeah,
all the ideas in your head. Like if you just let them out, it might not connect
yeah,
in the
exactly.
way that you might feel it can. So
Yeah,
it is about packaging it in a certain way where it's there to help people, but also like it might seem contrary to what your initial plan was, which was to be free flowing. But if it can
yeah,
reach more people, then that's what your goal was anyway, right?
yeah, definitely.
So
It's interesting because that it like reminds me of not to mention him again, but Leo did like when he first started out, his videos were just like I don't know how to how to make money, how to get relationships, and like that was it. And then the thing is, like he worked himself up through his business. For me, I did it just away from my business. Like I did it like in I don't know, I traveled around the world and stuff and just like got the experiences and be like, okay, now I understand the ideas and reading these books.
yeah,
And then when I after many years, like I had the confidence enough to be like, maybe this information is useful. It seems like I started at the wrong point in a business uh context. I should have started like, oh, where people can reach me instead of like up here where no one's really like that's the area where it gets fuzzy anyway.
yeah. But I mean, there's something to be said for that. It depends on what your strategy is. Like, you could just be like, all right, cool. I'm not too concerned about making money with this, and I've got another job, and I'm doing that, and I'm doing this on the side. Like that's an option as well. It's not cut and dry. Like
Yeah,
because
that's a
also
good point.
it can affect you if you're reliant on something like this for your living. Because
Yeah, of course.
it can water it down, or it can make you a bit more tense about putting out videos, which I think it has.
Yeah,
You are somewhat concerned about views and whatnot.
yeah, I get. Yeah, I am because I feel like this is what I want to do to like make a living like everyone else. Since it seems only logical to make a living through doing what I enjoy. I haven't found any like other job that I would want to do. It seems like this has to be the thing.
And
So
that's the way.
I should have probably put more weight into the idea of views and uh it's so hard because it it becomes almost paradoxical
Yeah.
in a sense. But at the same time, I can easily say, well, yeah, well, we live in this money system.
Mm.
I I know there's points where it's like, oh, I could strive for a better what's it like a soul? My soul could be on a higher level if I because what you're doing is awesome. You reached out to me and said, look, an hour free. If you want to donate, donate. Like it's perfect.
Mm.
That's that's the most loving thing a business model can act in, and that's what I wanted to do as well. I
Mm.
wanted to start there. Like I really just want like a donation model of some kind or something. But yeah, like that's still an option, right? But isn't that harder? Like, isn't that saying, okay, you might not necessarily get what you desire
Mm.
if you do this, but you're going to be on a loft, like, so to speak, you'll be able to have more some other kind of freedom because you're not sort of doing this as much of a that money game. I
Mm.
don't know. What do you think
No,
about
no,
that?
no. I totally get that, and I think it's a dichotomy that every human kind of has. It's like selling out, basically. Like,
Yes.
am I gonna sell
Yes.
like how much is it gonna take for me to sell my soul?
Right.
How much pay do I need to not do what I want to do? That's what jobs are, right? It's
Yeah.
it's like they're paying you to not do what you want to do, and you might not even know what you want to do, which is why you go down the job route.
Yeah.
So, like, I know you mentioned me, but it's slightly unfair because the circumstances are slightly different because I make money doing business stuff, selling products and doing different things. So I'm able
Oh, okay.
to not rely on this to get paid. So I have a certain
Cool.
freedom within that, you know.
Okay, cool. So you
So,
still have yeah, that's I feel like that's the best way to go is like you have to sell something,
mm,
but then you can do whatever else on the like for a donation, like for free so that it can
right,
help more people.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, there's really I mean, there's two ways about it. There's one is doing kind of like the Leo way and just saying, all right, I'm going to go for this and I'm going to make a living talking about these self-development, spiritual topics, and that's it. But if you look at Leo, I mean, he put a hell of a lot. Like we're talking about structure, he's put so much structure
Yeah,
into what he's done. In terms of marketing, in terms of
right.
thumbnails and what works and what doesn't work, and there's a interesting interview with Mr. Beast. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yeah, I just listened to it and I was like, this guy is way more dedicated than me. This guy's way more obsessed than me. There's no way I could be on that level. But
Mm,
there's something to this that perhaps I could like take a little bit of that and just do as much as I can so then I can have the life I want to live and not be not working 24/7. Like I want to spend time just like looking at trees or whatever. I don't like I only do I want to do I know I put this in my post like maybe I want to work 2 hours a day or
mm.
2 to 3 hours. I probably do more if I have more energy.
I mean,
When
if
I
you
was making
enjoy
my
it, you will. You'll do more. If you're enjoying it, you'll probably.
yeah, that's because when I was making my video games, like I was just doing a couple hours a day because just to get it off, just to get it to a launching point with so much brain power that I didn't want to utilize. Um, and then eventually I got to a point where I just got in a flow state and I'm like, I want to finish this game. I was doing like I was doing just like what a 9 to 5 worker would probably be doing,
Yeah.
except I was on my own schedule. And so it was really nice.
Mm.
So I would like to get to that point with I don't know, maybe with like video making or writing or something. It'd be easy to do.
I think yeah, you definitely got a lot of skills that you can use. I mean, a video game uh, developing that's pretty impressive as well. But going back to the Mr. Beast video, like obviously he's like literally the biggest YouTuber in the world, right?
Yes,
Or something like that.
I believe he must be
He might be,
one
yeah.
of them.
So that level of dedication, not everyone's going to be Michael Jordan. Like you just don't. 99% of
Right,
people don't have that,
right,
or not even that. It's like they have other priorities. Like he started when he was
exactly.
13, so this was 100% his number one priority. You know,
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
but he managed. If you notice, he didn't just make content that he wanted to make. I mean, he does, but like he adapted to what the environment was, which
yeah.
I find amazing anyway. To
I
be
like
able to
that
do that.
too. I like that. I was like, that's cool. That he's like just like I mean, I could say that's not cool, but when he said it, it sounded really like it sounded like that's something I could do as well. It's just to help more people, you adapt to the environment
Yeah, no,
that
you have
you're.
to. It's business, man. It's like there's certain things that are going to work, and there's certain things that are not going to work. And that's just the nature of the beast. Like any kind of field you go into, video games as well. There's certain things that are going to work. There's certain things that are not going to work, and it's up to you to
Yeah,
learn what are the common practices. What can I improve on as well. and how can I make this thing
Yes.
successful, you know, and put it into that,
Yeah.
put what you want into that structure.
This is really good because it's like making me realize, oh yeah, in the way I'm doing things now, it's sort of put like negative self-absorbed. Like I'm just thinking it's okay to do, of course,
Mm,
but like if I really wanted to improve myself and to help more people, I would consider these things more often than
mm,
I have been doing.
right, right.
Like I would say that's a good positive thing that like Mr. Beast wants to adapt to as many,
Mm,
to the environment, to the audience, seeing what they want. Like that seems like there's a lot of compassion to this. Uh I I've been absorbed by a lot of knowledge that speaks within like a subjective paradigm,
mm,
and sometimes I assume that subjective paradigm is just like my individual personality, basically,
mm,
and sometimes it's hard to see which of that is my soul, and which of that is just me like wanting to hold on to my own like beliefs and ideas about myself.
mm,
And so I wonder, like, yeah, I gotta be like, this is humanity we're speaking about, not just Jaron, not just like my unique perspective is, of course, like infinite and like myriad multidimensional, but
mm,
it would be more so if if I like adapted to this the to the other reflections out here.
yeah, man. Because look, you're part of the whole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the way
Yeah.
you're approaching it currently is like you want to be seen separate.
Yes.
You want people to come to you and give you validation
Yes.
for your separateness.
That is exactly what, man, I couldn't even articulate that. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's real, you know. Like,
it was amazing because before this session, I had just a couple hours ago, I had this dream where I was just being pulled out into another dimension by some like extraterrestrial lady or something. It was like an astral experience. And
mm,
I'm like, whoa, I haven't had one of these amazing dreams in a while. It's because I've like been into this box of like wanting to do only what this self wanted to do,
mm, mm,
because it's exactly as you said. I w- I was trying to be separate and wanting people to highlight my separativeness
mm,
instead of integrating with the whole.
mm,
Man, I couldn't see that before because I didn't want to talk to anyone. It's sometimes when I have podcasts, like I talk with someone and their perspective is completely different from mine,
mm,
and so I'm like, how could I possibly? If it just feels like that their view is too limited and mine, that's obviously like what I'm even saying. It that's obviously an ego thing too, but
yeah.
um,
Do you
I'm
feel it's like
saying
you're trying to protect that separate self? That
yes,
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 because it's like
yes,
you don't want to break out that box because if you break out that box, there might be something that challenges that self.
yes.
You even said that on the post. Actually, you said I'm going to challenge you.
Yes, I did. I was aware of it, and at the same time, I still managed to post it because I'm like, well, I still need someone to challenge me. Like,
Mm,
I still have to do that. I still have to have that experience, and so a lot of times it's like me running away from that experience of being challenged.
mm, yeah, and I think this obviously bleeds over into your business where
Yes,
you are making content that you don't necessarily even want to be challenged on.
yes, yes. Well, until recently, and then I realized, man, I want people to challenge me. I want people to participate with that. I mean, that's why I'm talking with you now. Otherwise, like it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but that's cool. I think that's really cool that you've opened a crack there. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you reached out. This has actually helped me a lot. I don't know if there's any more that needs to be said because I feel like now I just have to do the work.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
And unless you have more tips or like something that help me out.
No, you're right. I think a lot of it has been said. Like I said, it's both sides. So it's the content side, but I think the underlying thing of just reaching people where they are, and not being about you or your beliefs. I think that's the most important thing. But that will inform the content. You see.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, I'd really want you to get into what works on YouTube. So what kind of marketing can you do? What sites can you post up? Obviously, you can post up on Actualize, but there's going to be other sites, maybe Christian sites. If I know we're still
Yeah.
people, but
Oh yeah. That's a good idea. Like that sounds something I would want to do. Like just go on Christian forums and be like, hey, check out this video about Jesus and seeing what people say. Because that would be easy to do.
Reddit, for example, that's another one.
Reddit, totally.
So things like that. So really research, like treat it as a job. Like
yeah.
You're
No, this actually sounds fun though. It's like, yeah, this is a job, but that's this now it feels like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
I need to actually do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not a job where you're just doing it to do it. This is you. Like this is your business. This is this is what you're giving to the world. So treat it as if you're your own marketing department, and you're setting yourself the task of how can we market these videos and how can we reach the people that we want to reach.
Yeah, totally.
So we can cut it there. Yeah, it's been really good meeting you.
Yeah, I'm glad you reached out, man.
Nice. Anytime.
This is helping me quite a bit. I was wondering, like, if you could you send? What's your name, by the way? I know you asked your name.
B.
B.
B. Yeah, it's a Nigerian name. Ada B is the full one, but everyone calls me B.
Nice, B. Okay, nice meeting you, B. I appreciate you reaching out and pulling my soul to a higher level. I'm very thankful. I was wondering if you could. I don't know if you can do this, only if it's easy. Can you send that recording to me, and can I post it on my podcast?
100%, 100%.
Thank you. Wow, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And send me a link to where I can donate to you. I'll send you something. I'll send you something. It won't be much, but I'll send you something.
There's no limit or no minimum. Like it's fine. Whatever.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No.
All right.
Really good, man. What I'll do, I'll give you a shout in a couple of weeks to see where you are. We don't have to video chat if you don't.
Yeah.
For message or whatever.
Sounds good.
Just to keep tabs and make sure you're on track and all that.
Yeah, I'll find you on the self-actualized forum and just message me there.
Yeah.
I'll keep posting and stuff.
Perfect.
Cool.
No, really good.
All right.
Look forward to seeing some stuff from you as well, man.
Yes, you will. Perfect.
Great.
All right. Have a good one, man.
I'll see you there.
Later.